What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about all the new Defensive Player of the Year cards that came out pretty recently and other stuff about it. I have only played with two of these, the 88 Michael Jordan, which is the highest rated, and I believe the Alonzo Mourning, and also the 2004 Ron Artest. And I'll tell you what I know about them and a quick look at their ratings. I'll try to put up pictures on the screen as well. So thank you guys for watching. Let me talk about them. First is the 93 Hakeem Olajuwon with a 95 rating. This card looks pretty good overall, looking at it right now. He does have very good defense with a 91 overall, a lot of really high ratings, and that 90 block is pretty nice. I kind of expect a little bit more, but that's a very nice thing. And he does have a decent shot from all around. Of course, not from three, but decent shot. Next up is the Michael Jordan card that I talked about. I used before in Gauntlet. Really quickly, I do not like this card too much. By the way, I'm using MTDB to look at all this stuff. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like using it. Mainly because he has no three-point shot. Very good mid-range shooter. Really good defensively and athletically. But he cannot, for his life, shoot threes, and I need to do that with most of my guards, so I can't endorse him at all. Next is a 92 David Robinson. I could have used him one time, but I didn't use him, and then I getting a diamond the next time when I played Gauntlet. And he has a very good all-around defensive stats, and offensively he has a good mid-range shot and pretty good inside scoring as well. So if you can try to get this, I believe he seems pretty good. Him and Hakeem are, I feel like, the two best. Next is the 2011 Dwight Howard, who was an absolute beast during this time. I went to a Magic game when he won, I think one of the years he won Defensive Player of the Year, but he was injured, so it kind of sucked. I didn't see him, but he does have very good stats. His block is too low. It's an 88. I believe he should be at least a 91. He was a crazy back in this time. Of course, no outside shooting, but he's a great inside scorer and absolutely amazing athleticism. If you look at it, he has a bunch of 90s and above. Alright, next up is a 96 Gary Payton. I believe there's already a couple Gary Payton cards out, but this might be the best so far. He has pretty alright three-point shooting and outside shooting, but of course you gotta look at that steal at a 99 steal and a bunch of high 90s for defense and a pretty decent defender, so he's pretty good. Next is an 08 Kevin Garnett. I've used him before in just like playing around with my friends, because this is technically the card that you use when you play with what's that called, just like the play now, because if you played Historic Domination, this is the card that they show. Actually he can somewhat shoot threes with a 69 standing three, and of course his block and his steal aren't too good. He was never, he did put up a year, I believe, with like a little over 2 blocks, and he always put up a couple, like a steal and a half, but it's just that he's a very all-around great player. So if you can get him, he's good as well. Not going to back off of him. And then a 2000 Alonzo Mourning. I actually had Defensive Player of the Year, the block, whatever, for 2K15 of Alonzo Mourning. I liked him a lot. And he has almost no shot. He has a 55 moving shot 3 and a decent mid-range shot. But that 95 block and 96 contest is absolutely amazing. His rebounding is a little below average, and he's not super athletic, but he's a pretty good guy. He's like a little bit better than Dikembe Mutombo, I feel like, in terms of his skills. Next is the 2015 Kawhi Leonard from last year when he won Defensive Player of the Year as well as Finals MVP. So he does have good stats. Of course, his shooting isn't as good as this year's. He hasn't become, like, this year he's an elite shooter, one of the best in the game. Of course, he's not better than Curry, I feel like, but he is a very good shooter. He has an 81 standing three, which is, good enough in this game for passable, but he does have so many good things for him. With the 91 steal and all, like, 95 and above for IQ, it looks like, except for low post, which, he's a small forward. You shouldn't expect too much out of that. Decent defense, rebounding, and very good athleticism, and all around a not too bad card. And he's an 89 overall, which is nice, especially when you use a gold kind of restrictions for a challenge. Next is the 1983 Sidney Moncrief. I might have used him, not in this game, but previously in different games or like Play Now. And his defense, the two big things I always look at, steal and block, he doesn't have much in, but everything else, it's incredible, with a 98 and above for most defensive IQs, and a 95 pass perception. He's very athletic, at least it seems to be. His three-point shot is alright. It's actually terrible, shooting about 50s right there. decent inside scoring, and of course he can't rebound. Of course, Sidney Moncrief is a shooting guard, so you don't expect much from there. Next up is a 1998 Dikembe Mutombo, and Mutombo, of course, he's pretty much going to be defense only. He cannot score for you, not a playmaker. He's a very good rebounder, but he's not too athletic. He will be a very, very solid defender with a 97 block and 98 low post defensive IQ. So this is very good if your opponent has a good low post scorer, as he will pretty much stop them entirely. He's not very good in terms of much other things, but this guy is an absolute beast if you want someone to play defense for you. Next is a guy I've used as well, 2004 Ron Artest. I used him in a gauntlet where I had him and Brandon Jennings. I believe I got lucky with that, the Diamond Brandon Jennings. And his three-point shot, it's a 77 for standing, a 71 for moving, which isn't good, but I was able to hit, I believe, 1-3 with him. And he has an 86 steal and very, very good all-around defensive stats, mainly because he's very big. I believe in real life he's like 6'6", 250, 6'7", 255, around that range. And I believe he had an A+ for perimeter, low post, and even steals. I'm not positive about steals, but he had very good things, very strong. He's a 93 strength, and he can score from inside and a little bit from out. So he's a very good guy. If you can get him, pick him up. He's kind of expensive, I believe, at this point. Next is a 2013 Marc Gasol, and I just never like playing with Marc Gasol in 2K ever. I don't know, I can never use him. This card, of course, he can't shoot threes, but he can knock down the mid-range better than almost anyone else I've seen so far, with a 94 standing and a 90 moving. And of course, in real life, he's known for his playmaking and crafty play, and he does have good inside scoring and alright playmaking. He's not athletic whatsoever, but he has very good defensive things. Of course, his block is only an 80, so you're not going to get a lot of blocks with him, but you're going to just get smart defense, so like a Dikembe Mutombo without getting the big numbers in terms of blocks and whatnot. Next up is Ben Wallace from 2003, one of my favorite players, just because of an absolute animal he was. And this guy is an athletic Mutombo, but complete shit offensively. Of course, he has the incredible rebounding with a 98 defensive rebound and a 98 box out. Those are like the two highest in the game, I believe. He has a 94 block. He has a 94 block and a bunch of high 90s, even including on-ball defense. Of course, his lateral quickness is kind of lacking at a 58, but everything else is pretty incredible. He cannot shoot for his life, so don't even attempt to shoot with him. He has a 56 moving shot 3, which is highest outside scoring besides his shot IQ. But this guy is here just to play great defense. I think I used him once just in a play now, and with some of my friends, and he is very, very fun to use. So if you can find him for cheap, he's pretty good, but don't expect a thing from him offensively. Next up is a 1985 Mark Eaton. I had Mark Eaton last year as well, and just how big he is so valuable. 7'4", 290 pounds, and he is a pretty alright rebounder. He doesn't have great stats, but his size is what makes up for it, especially with that 98 block. Yes, a 98 block. He cannot shoot too well, as his best outside shooting stat is a 60 moving shot mid. But the thing is, he will hit layups underneath the rim, at least he did last year, and I think he will this year. And he'll block and rebound a lot, which is very, very valuable in this game. Alright, after this is a 1987 Michael Cooper card. And he is very skinny, but he can do what you need. He's pretty much a 3-and-D guy, as he's an 82 standing shot 3 and an 83 moving 3. His inside scoring isn't too good, but he's decently athletic, and he has very, very good defensive stats, especially considering he's a shooting guard. He has an 84 low post D, very useful. I really wouldn't recommend this card too much, as he's almost entirely 3-and-D, which at that point I don't like those guys too much, but he's not bad either, if you happen to pull him. Next is the 2012 Tyson Chandler card, and I never really was a fan of Tyson Chandler in 2K. I never really liked him. I don't know why. He's decently athletic, very good rebounding, and he, for some reason, his block isn't too high, but he does have very good IQ, and his inside scoring, he's going to be there just to do some standing dunks, standing layups, stuff like that. Can't shoot threes, but he's an alright free throw shooter at 69. Overall, don't know what to say. Then finally, second to last is a 91 Dennis Rodman, and I have Dennis Rodman in this game, not this Defensive Player of the Year Dennis Rodman, but I do have his best rating. He's an 85. Sometime on the Bulls, I believe it's the 96 one, and I can't stand him because yes, his rebounding is absolutely incredible. I believe the one I have is where he has 99 rebound, and this one has a 92 and a 94 for offensive defensive rebound respectively, and a 98 box out. And his defensive stats, besides his steal, block, and quickness, are all above 90s. Most of them are around 95. And he cannot score whatsoever. I try to score with him, and it's very hard. But he's pretty much there for rebounding, so I don't know. I really wouldn't recommend him. And finally is a 2014 Joakim Noah and 84 overall. Sorry if I didn't mention their overalls. I'll link you to like the big page I was referring to. But I did it by overall in order descending. Joakim Noah is a 84, the lowest rating out of all of them. His steal and block aren't that high with a 64 steal and a 76 block, but he has alright defensive stats, and he's somewhat athletic actually. His speed and acceleration are low, but he has good stamina, hustle, and an alright strength. Pretty alright rebounder with an 87 defensive rebound and a good 88 box out. He can't shoot threes, but he can somewhat shoot mid-range, and he's just a very smart player. I really wouldn't recommend him either if you can pick him up. But I mean, any of these guys, if you can pull them in a pack, yeah, you might want to keep them unless you already are stacked at that position, or you just want to make some easy money. So anyways, talking about these defensive players, at this time, I feel like the best guys to get are the big men, because most of the guys who aren't big men aren't that good. Of course, the exceptions might be Kawhi Leonard and Ron Artest, and both of them are pretty good shooters, and they might be pretty fun to use. And there are some guys who are big that you might not want to use, but that's mainly because their overalls, like Rodman, Noah, or Chandler. However, I don't really recommend opening the packs. Of course, I've opened up too many. I opened up probably 5 or 6, but I have not pulled a Defensive Player of the Year yet so far, which is kind of upsetting. However, the thing about it is people are saying that you aren't getting good odds with it. I watched a couple Chris Smoove videos, and he got a bunch of Marc Gasols, which is pretty good. But then again, if I'm opening and spending that much VC and MT, I wish I would get a guy who I'd actually like a little bit more. But if you can get any of these guys, you can try them out in Gauntlet really easily. If you just do the first thing, you can cycle through and try to get one of these Defense Player of the Years. Try them out yourself and see who they are and how they are as a player. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Tell me down below if you have any of these guys and if you recommend them, or any ratings and anything you want to talk about. So anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more 2K videos, and of course, have a good day.